Let's get into the secure attachment style. And do not skip the importance of this secure attachment style, because often what people find is that they're actually more secure than what they realize. And you can have different attachment styles with different relationships. There might be somebody who you feel very avoidantly attached in that relationship because of also what they bring, and perhaps they might highlight some abandonment wounds in you, or something feels familiar that causes you to go into that form of self-preservation and wanting to protect yourself. But often people are more secure than what they realize because they have managed to have healthy relationships in the past. So don't see the secure attachment style as boring and that you don't have it, or that it's really hard to achieve, because you probably have it more than what you think you do. When you have a secure attachment style, again, that means, and I gave you the statistic earlier, of it only means that your needs have had to have been met at least 38% of the time. And so it doesn't mean that you have to be the perfect parent. And there is a term that we use in therapy of it just needs to be good enough. There is no such thing as having the perfect parent or having the perfect childhood. We're all going to have some form of trauma, because that's just the nature of and the unpredictability of life. And as you can see here, these are some of the traits, or some of the just what you can expect of what it looks like to have a secure attachment style. And the parent's role in forming this secure attachment with their infant or with their child or with their children is that they're very aware of what their child's emotional and physical needs are. So it doesn't mean that they were perfect with understanding what the child's needs are, but it shows that they were present and willing to try. That can look like, if an infant is crying and it's because they've got an upset tummy, but mum picks up and cares for the baby. She changes the nappy, the baby's still crying. She tries to feed the baby's still, uncomfortable. It's not that the parent has to get it right all the time, but it shows that the parent is present and trying to meet their emotional needs. So it doesn't mean that the parent would have got it right all of the time. It just needs that 38%. And they are there and willing and showing up for that baby and having that care, so that that baby knows that they are they're cared for and they're loved. And so what does this look like in the child? They seek out comfort and become soothed. So often when a child is insecurely attached, or they've had inconsistent caregiving, sometimes they're not comforted by their parents. When perhaps a parent is anxious and they're trying to calm the child down, again, the baby can pick up on energy, and if you're very anxious and you're trying to soothe your child, that's why often it doesn't really work, because your infant is very really connected to what is happening with your nervous system and how your emotions are. So we have to it's more about just the physical needs. It's also your presence and how you are present for that infant. And so when a child has had their needs sufficiently met, they feel safe and they feel loved, and they are able to also form good relationships outside of the parent. So not saying that they never get upset and never want comfort from a parent, leaving at school and that sort of thing, doesn't mean that the child is insecurely attached, but it just means that more often than not, they're able to soothe themselves and calm down fairly quickly, as opposed to a child who has a very insecure attachment. And so often when you have a secure attachment style, your core beliefs also reflect that. And that looks like thinking things like, I am lovable and I matter. And that's why you can have healthier relationships, because you're used to having those kind of relationships. That's what you've been around. So that's what you've come to expect.